Hello.
Hello, Jonathan. Hi.
Hi.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks. You?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Easy.
Considering, of course, all of the malarkey right now, but yeah, all good and well. Hey, thanks for making some time for this meeting. Much appreciated. How did you hear first about the iSurface Profiler, if I may ask?
I was looking for kit that would work with scleral contact lenses.
Okay.
And this was one of the devices that came up.
Awesome. And so have you started with sclerals already, or is that something you would like to do?
No, I fit sclerals already.
Okay. Okay, very good. And if I may ask, so how many a month roughly do you fit?
Not many.
Okay.
One or two.
Okay. No, that's fine. And okay. So we have 30 minutes. This is your lunch break, I presume?
No, it's actually my day off.
Okay.
I'm at home. I'm just trying to make my camera work, but
no worries.
I can't see the setting. Oh, maybe I've got to scroll down.
If you wriggle your mouse, there should be a bar pop up from the bottom of the screen. No joy. And do you see a black square with your own name on it, or?
Yeah, so I clicked on it. Can you see me?
No, I just see a black square with your name on it.
Okay. So I can see me, but I can't see how to make you see me.
Okay. Well, yeah, the wonders of Zoom and technology, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because if I wriggle my mouse or anywhere on the screen, it will. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, nice backdrop there. Like it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay. So I'm comparing it against other machines that I think do a lot more. So I was interested in how the price compared.
Right. Okay. So and what other things would you like this machine to do? This device to do?
Sorry, getting disturbed. So I was comparing it with things like the what's it called? There's one that gives axial length and anterior chamber shine plug imaging. The Pentacam AXL.
Yeah, Pentacam AXL. Okay, all right. Yeah.
So this, from what I understand, this just gives anterior surface height. Like
this is the front surface of the anterior surface of the eye. It measures. That's correct. Yeah. And yeah, so that's in essence what I'll let me take you through the nuts and bolts of what we do. And so yeah, just a second, I'll get this started. Hopefully you can see my screen.
I can't see the screen. I'm just trying to make it louder now because I'm really struggling a bit with it. Do you know how to make it louder where I go?
Yeah, I'd say that's louder is turning up the volume of your the speakers of your laptop or your computer.
Yeah. Side by side speaker. Exit full screen.
Yeah, or I could come a bit closer to the microphone. Perhaps that'll help.
And my speakers are only on 33%. Must be better now.
Okay, yeah, can you hear me better?
Much better, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Excellent.
now I can concentrate.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing more annoying than that. Okay, so let's start it. What I would like to do is I'll talk a little bit with some slides to give the background, explain the technology, and then also what we do with the device. But then let's switch to the actual software with some real measured eyes, and then see. So what can you do to fit some scleral lenses on those? Okay. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So before the eye surface profiler, this is the first device that could measure not just the full cornea, so limbus to limbus, but also a large part of the sclera. Yeah. And particularly the scleral zone was really like terra incognita. It was an unknown territory. We knew so little about the actual shape. And this innovation has really pushed our knowledge of it. And it's also, as I will explain later, has really pushed the design and the innovation of scleral lenses. And so one of the things we tried from the outset with our company is to really see how we can dramatically improve the whole fitting process by reducing the number of refits and by increasing the capability of fitting more personalized, more customized scleral lenses. And therefore, of course, getting better patient outcomes. That is in the essence what we do. But we never forget that you make an investment in this device, so you need to have a business model. You need to earn money with it so that you can earn back the investment you made. And so that is very much something we kept in mind. And but we've always had a very much a science-based perspective. Particularly when you come with new technology, it's really important that you get scientific peers to validate the device. And we're well over 20 peer-reviewed publications right now. I'd say we're closer to 30. And you know, we were very much designed. We created the device that allows you to export the raw data. So it's really made for science as well as for clinical use. And we've always been 100% focused on specialty contact lens fitting. We'll be discussing scleral lenses here, but we have soft lenses, we are hybrid, RGP, and we'll be launching very soon the first ortho-K lens connected. And so this technology, because we measure that large part of the eye, it can be used for any modality, any diameter of lens. And we made sure that this is our focus, and so that the new things we add to the software and also the collaborations we have with the various lens manufacturers is always being with the eye of helping the contact lens practices. So the essence of the eye surface profiler is Fourier profilometry. And Fourier profilometry is basically what we have two illumination channels that flash very quickly, so milliseconds apart, and they flash a line pattern onto the eye. And the eye, you first instill fluorescein, so that this line pattern is, of course, it's cobalt blue light. So when it hits the fluorescein molecule on the tear film, it will scatter back the light in all directions. So we will always get an image back, whether it's right at the periphery of the eye or at the apex. There's no hole in the center, and those lines are equally distributed across the whole surface of the eye. So we don't need any interpolation or extrapolation.
What if the tear film's not good?
Sorry?
What about if the tear film is not good?
Well, you know, scleral lenses are fitted on pathologic eyes, keratoconus or keratoplasty or something, some affliction, and very often it will affect the quality of the tear film. And but the good thing is that this technology is extremely robust for measuring eyes also with disturbed tear films, dry eyes, and so in contrast with placebo-based devices that can really struggle, our technology is really good at measuring very pathologic eyes. So it's one of the strengths of Fourier Fourier profilometry. And the Fourier element is the image processing. So you have the photos, the two photos of the line pattern, and these are then processed into a 3D point cloud of about 500,000 data points that each describe the shape of the eye in great detail.
So the quality of the image is not dependent on the tear film. The quality of the scan.
Yes, it is, but because you instill fluorescein, it allows you to lubricate the eye. And that gives, even for eyes with some scarring on the cornea, or really advanced keratoconics, with keratoplasty eyes, you can really have disturbed tear films. You can still get good images with this technology.
What about if you have epithelial erosions or a lot of SPK, a lot of punctate stain?
If there is, of course, also for technology, there is a limit. But I can assure you that if our technology or our device hits a limit, that you cannot measure it with any other technology. And then the only option is, for the worst 2% of cases, is iPrint Pro. Is the blue dental goo that you impress on the eyeball to make an impression. It's something that Brian Tompkins has the license to do in the UK. Well, we're really talking about the worst 2% of cases.
Okay.
And we have we've got a whole plethora of case reports to testify to that ability. The measurement process is a very quick one. We don't scan the eye. We really take an instant measurement, 2 flashes, a few milliseconds apart. So eye movement is not an issue. We've made a very deliberate choice from the outset not to do several measurements that we would stitch together. So we have a single gaze, single shot measurement. So that makes the whole measurement process a lot faster than any of our competitors. And so what you get then is you see a couple of the maps here on the screen. And if we just focus on the inner circle, that is measured the cornea. You see a number of various shapes there. And from left to right, you see a fairly spheric cornea. And then you see one to the right, a more toric shape. And then you see this angry red circle right in the center, indicating a cone from the keratoconus. And pellucid marginal degeneration, where the cone is actually more on the periphery inferiorly. And the last one, you see a more flattened central part of the cornea, indicating a post-LASIK eye. And so always limbus to limbus, these measurements, and always full coverage of the whole cornea. Sclera also tells a lot of, also gives a lot of information. So you see the colors here. Are you comfortable with elevation maps?
Yeah, these elevation or these vertical?
These are elevation maps. So we take the absolute height, and then we have a reference sphere for the corneal zone, and a larger reference sphere for the scleral zone. Both are subtracted from the absolute height, and so anything that is yellow there, the reference sphere is at the same height as the eye. And for blue and green, the eye is actually lower than the reference sphere. And for red and even white, the eye is sticking out above the reference sphere.
Okay.
And so a cone typically will be red and even a little bit white. This is because it's really sticking out above the reference sphere. And so if we look at with the same kind of perspective to the various scleral shapes here, on the one on the very left, we see, say at 9 o'clock, we see a red zone, and it's more or less repeated at 3 o'clock. And then we see at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, we see a dark blue. So there the eye is dipping steeply down, and horizontally, and the horizontal meridian is actually staying up. So it's indicating a significant kind of saddle shape or rugby ball shape, and therefore it's a clear indication of significant toricity there. And if we look at the one just to the right there, we see that this toricity now is in a diagonal direction, and whereas one even further to the right, well, we see a little bit at what is that, 2 o'clock, and a little bit at elevation at 9 o'clock. And then the depression seems to be somewhere spread out of the rest. So you can't really, this is quite an irregular eye. And the one on the very right, if you look on the right side of the sclera there, you see an angry white small dot indicating a pinguicula, which can be really tough to fit when you want to fit a scleral lens. But if you actually measure the shape, it can really speed up the whole process. But we'll get into that with the real software. A new map that we introduced just to help the practitioners is a scleral asymmetry map, or what we call the scleral profile map. And it basically detects the asymmetry of it. So on the very left, there is basically no asymmetry. It's a spheric shape, which is actually quite rare. And on one right, you see there's two axes, so it's a toric shape. And one to the right is a quadrant-specific shape. And the one to the very right is indicating this is more than quad-specific. It's actually an irregular shape. You should go for either a free-form lens or, well, have a close consultation with the lens manufacturer that you want to deal with. We developed a nomogram, a decision tree. When should you escalate? When should you go from spheric to toric, from toric to quad specific? And the various flavors in between. We have a lot of expertise in-house, coaching and helping out our users. So it's not just when they get started and to get them up and running with making great measurements, but it's definitely also with interpretation of the maps and helping out with finding the optimal fit. We right from the outset, we have gone for lab neutrality. So we don't make lenses ourselves for a deliberate reason, because we want to connect with as many lens manufacturers as possible. And so far, for the UK, number 7 distributes the lenses by OneFit. And of course, you have Hastings distributing both the AccuLens lenses as well as the Zen lens. And basically, we're open to working with any lens manufacturer who's willing to work with us. And so we're on a constant drive to add more lens designs and to collaborate with more of the lens manufacturers. And that gives you the choice, the freedom of choice to go perhaps for certain patients in with one lab and for others with another lab, or if you get a special offer from the one, you can go with that. And in a very controlled way, you can make a decision what design you want to put on which eye. Well, that's the.
Do you have,
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have corneal lenses in your database, or only?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, some RGP lenses. I have to say that let's call it the demand for scleral designs has been so overwhelming that is where 90% of the designs are. But we can fit any ortho-K, any RGP lens. So if they're not in there, we can talk to the lens manufacturer and get it integrated. Okay, let's switch to the software. So this is the starting page of our software. It's my little demo database. So if we start with I don't know, the keratoconich eye, what do we see here? Perhaps it's good if we start with the 3D map. So this is the full eye surface as it was exposed to the machine, and it gives you really an in-depth set of information about the whole shape. So it basically goes from 10 millimeters on one side to now 11. So it's actually a little bit more than 20 millimeters here. We claim up to 20, but in occasionally you will get beyond that. And so if we look at the cornea, of course, you see the cone slightly decentered on the temporal side, is slightly inferiorly, and on the sclera we see a little bit of elevation around 1 o'clock, and the rest seems to be very symmetric. So not a lot of asymmetry going on there. This is just by looking at the results. And other maps that you can use to analyze the shape is the tangent angles map. So what it is that the horizontal plane at the apex is the reference plane. And so this map describes how the local slopes of the eye are. And we see that for most of the cornea, it's actually steepening in a regular fashion, as you would expect with a healthy cornea, except of course in the direction of where the cone is, where you see the effects. And beyond that, you see the limbus, and beyond that, you see actually that on the nasal side, the eye flattens, whereas on the temporal side, it really steepens out and goes in almost in a tangential line down. And we use this map, or our practitioners use this map to have another view of the asymmetry, because it gives a different perspective than an elevation map does. We have a sagittal height calculator. So you can fill in any chord length in millimeters that you require. And what it will do is will fit a line or a surface of exactly the chord length that you've indicated, and then calculate for you a whole lot of various sagittal shapes and forms. Whether that is just the average sagittal height, it can be over the hemisphere, so you can actually calculate the asymmetry. We can do them orthogonally. So what is the one with the least amount of sagittal height and which one is the one with most sagittal height. So it is an indicator of, let's call it, the toricity of the ocular shape. It basically gives a lot of information. We measure the HVID, so the horizontal visual iris diameter, as well as the VVID, so the vertical visual iris diameter, and the pupil diameter. And this is also a normal topography in the sense that it measures your SIM case and eccentricity if we then switch to the other tab on the left called First Lens Fit, this is where we have algorithms that we developed in collaboration with the lens manufacturers. So this algorithm will basically match the back surface of the lens with the measured front surface of the eye. That's all it does, but it does so in a very intelligent way. And so what we have in here is basically a database of the suppliers that are available, and all of this list we are capable of. It's kept in the cloud, so we're capable of adding more lenses or making tweaks and minor changes at any time. So you never have to kind of have the latest software, do the update. You will always have the best lens design algorithms in here and available.
Is number 7 in there? I saw Boschen.
Well, number 7, we're working on that, but number 7 in the sense as their one fit, their Blanchard one fit lenses, they are definitely in there. So Blanchard, and then do a one fit. Well, let's do a 15.2. You have all the various designs in there. So the one fit mid is probably the more appropriate here. And you click on calculate. And now it will communicate with the cloud-based fitting algorithms. And then in a second or 20, we'll come back with basically everything that you need to fit this lens. And the only thing, of course, that this machine doesn't do for you is calculate the over refraction. So for that, you need to put the lens on the eye to calculate that. And if you add that to your order, then you can order the lens straight away.
Where's the order now? Goes edge minus 250.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so these are the lens parameters that you will need to give. And so what you can do is we have what we call direct connect. So you click on the button here, and it will launch the ordering portal of the one fit lens. And it will basically push out all the relevant parameters that you need for your lens order. So if we go to another example, why don't we take a Penguicula case? So another measurement, another eye. Let's just make it a little bit bigger. Bear with me. So it might be a little bit dark, but hopefully you can see that. So if I fade this out, we basically see the photo of the eye as it was right at the moment of the measurement, and you see that we're basically everything that is exposed has been measured here. And again, this case we're over 10 millimeters, so we're exceeding the 20 millimeter diameter range. And what we see when we look at the sclera is right on the periphery. There is a pinguicula. So the relative height, that is the height from the reference sphere on, is what's that? It's 390 micron thereabouts. Yeah, 390 micron. And we also have its position from the apex out. So basically you have a very precise set of data here that you can communicate to the lens manufacturer of choice and discuss with them to so the one fit that is distributed by number 7. They do a notch, the CPR they call that, controlled periphery recess, and the Zen lens does the microvolt. So they do a little mini volt over this. And if you look at what kind of data they require, is exactly the data that you have here. So if we, for example, for this eye, go to the first lens fit algorithm, and we go to this time we go to Zen lens.
Yeah.
And we'll go to the regular Zen lens and then 70 millimeter diameter, and click on calculate. It will give you the core parameters that you need for your order. And on top of that, it will give a blue circle to indicate, hey, we detected a pinguicula. So you can, with your mouse, you can take notes of the geometry and the location of the pinguicula, and add that to your lens order.
Okay. So so what's it saying the lens order should be? Is it saying it should be a standard spherical edge or what?
No, it basically.
I can't see the data.
Sorry?
I can't see the data. So
yeah, that's a bit small. No, fair enough. So it basically says, and this is, of course, you see this looks slightly different to what we saw before with one fit. And that's because we just follow whatever the nomenclature is, the structure is indicated by the lens manufacturer. So we follow their lead in this. And so this is the Zen lens layout. So you input the diameter yourself, and then it calculates the sagittal height of the lens, the base curve of the lens, which is 8 here, and it says APS-1 and APS-2. That's indications of the haptic shape. Yeah. It says for the one, it says steep 2, and for the other one, APS-2, it says steep 10. So it gives a toric shape for this eye.
So that's the vertical steep 10.
Yeah. And on the right, actually, what you see is an over-refraction calculator. So once you've put the lens, a trial lens on the eye to determine the over-refraction, you can type that in here and calculate the final values that you need to communicate with the lab. So
do you still need to put a lens on the eye to get your over refraction?
Yes, but you know, for healthy eyes, we could probably do the math and calculate that, pre-calculate that for you. But as soon as there's something like a cone available or present or something, you need to put a lens on eye to calculate that.
So is this an eye with a cone, or is it just a regular astigmatism?
No, this cornea looks quite boring, I'm afraid. Okay. Yeah, so there's no indication of a cone here.
No. What's the red area to the right of center, the opposite direction of the pinguicula?
This here.
No, in on the cornea.
Right here.
Yes. Isn't that an area that's a bit higher? Is that the apex?
Well, the apex, yeah, it is a little bit higher, but it's probably more indicative of corneal toricity than anything else.
Okay.
And we have, and we can go back to the actual results. If I minimize this, we have a keratoconus prediction index, and it indicates that it's a healthy eye.
What does it say, 20% or something?
Yeah, 28%, which the cutoff value for our machine is about 35%. So this is still underneath that, and therefore a healthy eye.
Yeah.
But if we look at the astigmatism here, the corneal astigmatism, it's measured at 2.2 diopter. So that's quite significant.
Okay.
And,
so you've got your refraction and you've got your Ks.
yeah.
You could. Can you calculate the lens prescription? Almost, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I then go back to the first lens fit, right? Here we have the calculator. So I can if I type in the base curve, I can add the spherical power, predicted rotation we have already pre-filled, the best fit base curve of the eye of the lens we've already pre-filled, and if I then add the over refraction, it will calculate that for me, or for you.
Oh, the over refraction, you have to put the lens on the eye.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
yeah, you
always.
still need your trial set.
Well, you can, but you can also, I mean, some of our practitioners, they use an RGP lens to do the over refraction with, because some of these lens manufacturers, they charge a lot for the trial set, and which yeah, you know, there's no need really, and that's basically the whole thing.
So just a basic RGP on the same base curve will give you the same over refraction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're happy to guide you on that aspect of the fitting process. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it will cut down a lot of chair time.
Yeah. 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 That's basically the proposition we have to practitioners. Definitely also giving you the freedom to choose between different lens designs. As I said at the start, what we've noticed, and this is particularly coming from the US-based lens manufacturers, they've kind of, how to call that? There's really a turning there of acceptance that future lens fitting will all be driven through profilometry-like devices where you measure the full surface of the eye. And you see that one after the other lens manufacturer is now coming out with freeform lenses, and further, well, also in between further customizations that you would never be able to really confidently fit.
Just take hours. Just takes hours.
Yeah, it just takes hours, exactly,
Yeah,
and endless kind of refits and remakes, and our proposition is not that everyone should go freeform, because there's of course a cost element to that, but you know, how good is it that if you have to escalate, you can, you know, I
get inquiries for it. I get inquiries for it, which is why I inquired with you.
And you see there's well, how do you say it? It's almost like an arms race right now for these lens manufacturers. They don't want to be left behind, and the one without a freeform lens. And so what happens there is we basically push the 3D shape of the eye out to the lens manufacturer, and they will then design the freeform lens on the basis of it. And yeah, and that's really, yeah, you know, you see that increasing more of these labs doing that, and get, yeah, providing that opportunity.
Okay. So presumably you can do the same with a corneal lens.
Yeah.
Can you select a Bosch non-corneal lens on there, or does it give you an option?
No, well, in the US, it's been near impossible to get them interested in that. So we have a few European ones. We've got a local Dutch. We have one American RGP lens, and
Is that because it's a lot of work for them to do it from height maps? Because they're all on the Pentacam.
yeah, and it's well, you know, it's people follow whatever the hype is, and the hype in the US right now is scleral. That's been growing 25% year on year now. And so lots of people would like to get started with scleral lenses, or would like to improve and reduce the number of refits. And so that's getting so much attention. But gradually we find, particularly for ortho-K, of course, with myopia management, that's getting more and more attention. And we're always we're keen on all lens types, including soft. You know, there's so many eyes that are either too toric or just too well. My eye, for example, I
know some of these suppliers are doing
yeah. So we have
fitting on
Marcanovi
height,
here,
but you can still fit on base
in here, which is a British-Spanish manufacturer, and we have their lenses integrated into our system. And and it really is a big improvement over what they have, their little Excel sheet that you otherwise use.
Okay. But at the moment you don't have RGPs in here for a simulated fluorescein pattern or something.
Well, we are working for so we're about to launch the Paragon. So that's part of Cooper Vision now as well, just as the OneFit is. The CRT ortho-K lens. And so in the June software release that we're going to bring out, it will include fluorescein difference maps.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you'll be able to track the power changes that the ortho-K lens has induced.
Okay. But it doesn't do anything on axial length of the eye or anything. It's all anterior surface.
My friend, I wish it did. And perhaps, but no, it doesn't do so. We measure the front surface of the eye, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So how much is it then?
British pounds. It's about 20,000.
Okay.
So I'd say that's less than half of what the Axel does. Yeah.
The XL.
Yeah, the XL. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they'll always do a deal on an AXL. But,
yeah.
But the AXL gives you the whole anterior chamber. And
True. Yeah, that's very
true.
true.
The axial length.
Yeah.
I don't know if all these supplies will fit sclerals on their maps.
No, I don't know that either. No, I don't think it does, but I don't know. You should check.
It doesn't go as far out either.
No.
This is more impressive on the.
And we have a number of US-based users, practitioners, who both have the Pentacam and the eye surface profiler, and they all do their fits with our device and not with the Pentacam, because it's really difficult to get a good scan with the Pentacam.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
How can I how can I help inform you further?
Is there any other kit you do, or is it just this one?
No, we're totally focused on this one. Yeah.
Okay. No, I can see the benefit of it. I don't know if our competitors have got Pentacams or just this.
Brian has a Pentacam as well.
Does he?
Yeah, so you could reach out to him.
And what about the Hodds?
Yeah. So Caroline Hodd and Colin Tam. I'm not sure if they have a Pentacam. They have an eye surface profiler. That's for sure. And in Dublin there is Kian. what is his last name? So there's a practitioner in Ireland as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So would it help if I connect you to any of these, or?
Well, yeah, maybe, but I'm trying to work because I don't have a huge amount of space.
Mm.
So I need machines that can do everything
Yeah.
can do everything in a small space.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I started looking is because I just needed to update the computer in my consulting room, and I was told that some of my equipment wasn't compatible, and then my sort of all-in-one machine broke, which basically does auto refraction and topography.
Yeah.
So I started looking for a new all-in-one machine.
All right.
And then on a separate note, I wanted something for axial length because half of my work is myopia control.
Yeah.
And then I thought, why not go for everything and get the full corneal and scleral topography for that as well.
Yeah, sure.
So
makes sense.
Yeah, it's just how I fit them all in, because we don't have masses of space for that.
Yeah, space is always tricky. Yeah. We have some of. I mean, the footprint of this is the same as a Medmont topographer.
Yeah.
And with some of our users then because you need a computer with it, but they have that mounted on the wall, the screen of the computer mounted on the wall, and found clever ways to economize space.
The screen wireless or with a wire off the table?
You need a USB connection. Yeah. Between computer and, well, you could have the computer somewhere else, and then have the screen. I don't have experience with wireless screens, so I'm not sure how reliable they are.
Yeah,
I've always worked with screens with some kind of wire connection to the computer. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's definitely, I mean, yeah, space is always at the premium, because even if they have a lot of space, then quite often they have a lot of devices. They still manage to be really struggling to find another bit of space for a new device. And so quite a few of our users have found quite creative ways to fit our device in. So if are you by any chance on Facebook? We've got a very active Facebook user group, and you'd be welcome to kind of come in here for a couple of weeks and to ask around, ask some questions, and ask people's experience.
Okay. I'm on Facebook. I don't use it very much.
No, so, but you know, for this it could be worthwhile. Just I can send you an invitation if you're interested. So I don't want to force anything on you.
No, well, I'm just considering the options. It's in some ways it's like it's the least important of the of my requirements, because
what is the most important?
The most important is to replace the machine that just broke, which gave me an auto refraction and keratometry.
We don't do auto refraction.
Basic topography map.
Okay.
As a single device that I can just use very quickly.
So the iSurface Profiler really doesn't bring you what you want, huh?
It doesn't do any of those things, no.
No. Okay.
But then on a sort of separate note,
yeah,
I want something for more specialist work, which which must include axial length, because I don't know, two days out of my 5 are spent doing myopia control, and I might have one scleral patient every 2 weeks or one a month or something. So it's not a huge part of my work at the moment.
No.
But I do get asked about it an awful lot. We do get an awful lot of emails. Because I can see what's going on in the States, and it's it would be nice. It would be nice to do it. I'm just not sure. I need a single machine for that purpose.
No, I understand. Well, I hope this kind of painted the picture for you.
Yeah.
And gave you an insight into what this new technology can do.
It's very useful. I wasn't aware that other UK practitioners were now doing these customized lenses. That's been interesting as well.
Yeah.
See what the competition's up to.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm not sure. The only machine that really does everything I want is the new Pentacam, and it's too much.
That's a very expensive machine, huh?
Yeah, 70 grand.
Yeah.
And it's almost too complicated to put on your.
And the last I heard, it's not the version that you can do the squirrel topography with.
Yeah, so that's the other issue, is that they're top of the range machines.
Yeah.
Which claim to be an all-in-one machine, seem to be great for cataract surgeons, but don't have the software interfaces for optometrists.
That's exactly the thing. Yeah.
So
exactly.
in theory, it should do everything
that
the more basic Pentacams do, but the software interfaces don't seem to exist.
Yeah.
So again, it's just like it's really annoying, because that would be the one that did everything one footprint. I mean, central London, so space is a massive issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah.
No, I understand that well. So these are not easy decisions, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I might just go the basic route of just getting the sort of the Topcon all-in-one basic machine, which is about 15,000, and then get separate machines to do the other things that I need, rather than the things that cataract surgeons need, which might be one of these, and another I'd need something else to measure axial length in. So that's why I'm just waffling, going around in circles. But it's interesting to see, because 3 machines that cost 20,000 each is still cheaper than the Pentacam all in one. And possibly more useful, and possibly also better from a patient's perspective, because if you only have one table that has your OCT and your Pentacam on, you've got to use those as part of your basic routine.
Right.
And it's very difficult to then say, well, these machines are so special, I've got to charge you for using them. Whereas if they're in a separate room on a different table, I'm going to charge you for an extra scan in another room on another machine.
Yeah.
People get it. Then they're happy to pay extra.
Right.
So again, I'm trying to sort of figure it out. So I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'll come back to you. Basically, it's
no, sure. Hey, welcome anytime. If you have more questions or something, let me know. And don't hesitate reaching out to either Brian or Caroline. You know, they're doing a really amazing job. They've really grown their scleral practices, and I think it's business-wise, it's very good, doing very well for them. And you know, they'd be happy to talk to you about their experience with this device.
Okay, I might well speak to them. Because the other thing that I was looking at with the with some pieces with the anterior, there's things like Anterion and Pentacam, is the shine plug imaging, and whether you can use that for scleral fitting.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how useful those things are when you actually put the scleral on the eye.
Right. All right, Jonathan. Hey, very good. Good to meet you.
Thanks.
And let's stay in touch. And if there's anything else that you information that you require from me, don't hesitate in reaching out.
Okay. Thanks very much.
All right. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye.